At the heart of every paddler beats a passion for water, competition, and conservation. This unique podcast aims to unite all the paddling styles and stories under one common heartbeat. This is The Paddler's Pulse.
What's going on, paddle people? Thank you so much for joining us at The Paddler's Pulse. My name is Greggy. And today, we're going to do something a little bit fun. We are going to talk about the 7 wonders of California. That's the 7 top places, based on all of our fans and some insight, that you could paddle if you're in the amazing golden state of California, okay? So, really, really cool. So many of these are just amazing, and everybody should have them like totally on their bucket list. So put that on your bucket list for 2017, right? Come do some of these. Okay. So if you want to really explore some of the deeper layers of what California paddling has to offer, this is the unofficial but official really awesome list. So listen up, because they are amazing and something that really only paddlers can experience, right? So we reached out to a few local experts in a bunch of different regions to get some tips and some insights and things like where to launch and, all about their experience to help you guys have the best possible experience. So here we go. And as always, I'm going to make a note. Be respectful to all the local waters if you go check these places out, and I really hope you do. There's rules, there's etiquette. Remember, you're visiting someone else's home waters, okay? And they're not always a person. It could be a community or whatever. So make minimal wake. Always take trash with you and keep your noise at a respectful volume. You ready? Buckle up, because the first one of the 7 places in California, top 7 places in California to paddle, is the USS Midway. That's right. The USS Midway is number 7 on our list, located in San Diego Bay. Have you ever thought to yourself, like, how big are those aircraft carriers, right? Well, the U.S. Navy recently retired one of its carriers, the Midway, the USS Midway, and made it into a really cool floating museum on San Diego Bay. So it's a unique chance for a paddler to get really close to one of these majestic floating fortresses. And you get to do it among the beautiful downtown San Diego skyline with that gorgeous Coronado bridge in the background as an added bonus. So to learn more about this specific spot, we reached out to a local waterman named Manny Vargas to share some tips on how to enjoy the water best. And here's what he had to say. To get the most out of paddling up to the Midway, there's like a 3-mile round trip paddle that is best to do in the morning. If you start your paddle after 9 a.m., you'll be battling boat wakes and a lot of wind as well. So not super fun. Do it nice and early. Do it while it's calm. Do it as the sun rises, right? He said there's 3 docks that are across the street from the solar turbines facility on Harbor Drive. If you choose to start, do it there. And remember, people live on the boats that are right near there, so be respectful with your noise, like we talked about. Bring your GoPro and get ready to be awed, okay? Last thing, keep a decent distance away from the piers and the Midway itself. And by the way, you guys, Manny is a really cool cat. He's been running these surf and like sup tours in northern Baja for the past few years. So you want to check him out. Go to bajaweekender.com. Let me try that again. Go to bajaweekender.com to hook up with my man Manny Vargas, who brings us our number 7 tip of awesome places to paddle in California, and that is the USS Midway. All right, let's slide into number 6 of the top 7 places in California to paddle, and that is, this one's interesting, Balboa Island during the holidays. Cool, right? Like a holiday paddle. Newport Harbor, right, is where this happens, and there is nothing more spectacular than millions of holiday lights, except seeing them from the water. This is cool. So established in 1907, the Newport Beach Christmas Boat Parade and an event called the Ring of Lights takes place in December each year and is one of California's oldest holiday festival of lights. So imagine this, right? Close your eyes. Decorated yachts, boats, kayaks, canoes, everybody cruising along Newport Harbor, and this beautiful reflection of lights just illuminated on the water. So good, right? And in addition to the actual parade they put on, which is 5 nights each year, the yacht clubs, all the boathouses, all the waterfront mansions, on Balboa Island. They go all out with decorations and lights, so that's gotta be pretty cool, right? The Ring of Light is a very worthy paddle. Its perimeter, which is roughly 3 miles or so, but lots of zigzagging. And a super cool event to do. So we reached out to Kel Thompson of Newport Aquatic Center, NAC for short, for some tips. And she said, be sure to know the local official event route ahead of time if you want to watch the parade. So that you don't interfere with the actual course would be a great thing. Also, since it is a night paddle, let's be safe. Wear some bright colors. Have some lights so that you're visible. Reflective stickers on either your paddle craft or your paddle itself is a great trick. And you should stay out of the main channel while paddling because it's a little bit dangerous with over 100 boats or so moving around through the harbor at night, okay? There are many beaches and docks and public spots in Newport Harbor as well as Newport Dunes that you could launch from. So super cool. I want you guys to check this out. Number 6 on our list, and we're stoked that the people at NAC can help us out. They have SUP and kayak rentals too, so just check them out. NewportAquaticCenter.com to learn more about that. So that's number 6, Balboa Island during the holidays. Okay. Number 5. This is good, right? Okay, number 5 is Catalina Island. What? Catalina Island. This beautiful, beautiful island. Oh, yes, this is a good one. Number 5 on the list of top 7 places to paddle in the state of California is Catalina Island, which technically isn't attached to the state of California, but still amazing, right? This paddle has many levels of awesome, depending on how actually hardcore you are. The casual paddler can just cruise across the waters of Avalon Harbor, super special place, with its historic casino opened in 1929 on one end, and then on the other end is Lover's Cove Marine Preserve. Oh, beautiful. The scenery in this area is like totally majestic. You can see fish life, stunning backdrops, the towns, the cliffs. It's awesome, okay? And it's 20 plus nautical miles away from the closest California traffic jam, which is phenomenal, right? Okay. However, don't limit your paddling to just Avalon, right? It would be a total disservice to the actual beauty of the island. So we did the following. We reached out to Amy Spector of Ocean of Hope to see what her experience was like firsthand and how special this island can actually be. And she shared with us a couple really cool things. So, including about a crossing race that happens every year. This is what she said, every part of the island and its waters is truly special. She'll be coming up on her 18th year of paddling the Catalina Crossing Outrigger Race, which you guys can learn about at catalinacrossing.org. Oh, super cool. It is the original outrigger canoe race brought here from Hawaii. Such amazing history, okay? She says that she can honestly say that each time it has been super special and super unique. Whether you have a new crew paddling together, all the unique challenges and conditions really push your limit. And with faster boat designs, it just keeps getting better and better every year. She did say that her favorite experiences with Catalina, however, mostly center around prone paddle crossings. Okay, and the time that she spends at the northwest part of the island by 2 harbors. The small community there embraces paddlers every single year in such a super special way. And the Catalina Classic Paddleboard Race is one of her favorites, held since 1955. It's a 32-mile crossing. So much history, so much emotion, so much challenge. Oh, how cool is that, right? Very special. And always levels the playing field, getting people out there. It's super exciting. A few tips that she had if you're going to be taking or undertaking a crossing. Have your nutrition set. Great advice, right? Get a good mindset, because that's a serious paddle, right? Get in your practice miles, which I totally agree with, and expect the unexpected, because that's what makes the whole thing fun. And of course, respect the locals on the island, and they will take care of us year after year after year. She says that what you experience and see is nothing short of memorable and amazing. Woo! And if you haven't paddled at, around, or from Catalina Island, guys, you totally should. Also, do us a favor, go check out Ocean of Hope, an amazing group made of dedicated athletes who commit themselves to the support of the Sarcoma Alliance. And I want you guys to go check them out. What is that? Number 5, Catalina Island. So good. All right, we're going to move on now to number 4. just imagine that really perfect moment when those onshore winds just start howling, right? And the coastline just lines up perfectly for a downwind run. Like a ski run gifted from the paddling gods with so many bumps that you completely forget what it's like to even have a paddle in your hand. We are talking about number 4 on our top paddles in the state of California, and that is the Cabrillo Run. Ooh! It's an epic point-to-point paddle off Long Beach Harbor breakwall. So good. First-timers, make sure you hook up with somebody who's done it before. So we reached out to the locals at Kaha Kai Outrigger Canoe Club, who graciously shared some valuable guidance and insight, and a little bit of a comprehensive plan. The Cabrillo to Long Beach Surf Run. Woo. Optimal conditions are westerly winds, 15 plus, and northwest winds swell. These are pretty much normal afternoon conditions in late winter and spring. Avoid Santa Ana conditions or any southerly winds, and they monitor it through windfinder.com so you guys can plan ahead. Attire and equipment, dress warm, because you can always take off layers, but you guys knew that, right? And of course, keep a change of clothes at the finish line. That includes a jacket, beanie, warm shoes, that kind of thing. Your canoe needs to be set up for surf. A big rudder and a leash are completely essential. And let's walk into safety, right? So some of these people have been doing this for years, and their advice is to check your cables and your rudder setup ahead of time. This run puts a ton of stress on your rudder system, so make sure it's completely on point and keeps you on point, right? Leashes are necessary. Bring it and use it. There's no talking about this one. You got to do it. Bring an extra paddle for about every 3 paddlers that you actually have, because you could either lose one or break one. Bring a phone, put it in a case, have it with you, put it in a pocket or in a pack. Marine radios, very much recommended. Bring one for every 3 to 4 paddlers. Put it with the strongest paddler, okay? Lastly, PFDs are needed. Rubber one onto your Bakayako. Bring some small tools, some extra lines, some extra rubbers, all a great idea. It's better to have these things than to wish that you had them and not have the choice, okay? Some other great advice is it's best to do this downwind run in pieces, so segments. So they stop at every opening in the breakwater. Angel's Gate is the first opening. Queen's Gate is the next. And the east end of the breakwater would be the last one. So they stop every time, gather the paddlers together, take a quick break, and then move on. Let's talk about the run itself, okay? This is one of the best and most consistent surf runs in Southern California, okay? So you're going to start by paddling straight out, half mile, avoid all the kelp patches. The optimal lines to use, set yourself up off of Seal Beach with the oil rig as a landmark. This is going to keep you from getting too close to the actual breakwater. First-time paddlers or beginners may want to go inside the breakwater at the Queen's Gate. But anyway, keep safety in mind, guys. Always take partners with you on any of the alternate routes that you decide to do. Finishing and logistics are important. Plan for about a 3+ hour paddle with travel time and breaks on the water. The run itself is about 12 miles, 9 of which are connecting wave after wave after wave and riding bumps and on really great days. Super cool that John, aka Huli of Kaha Kai Outrigger Canoe Club in Long Beach, decided to inject his email address here for anybody who wants to organize an event, and they're always up for a surf run. How cool is that, right? So JDEPPE4@hotmail.com. That's John with Kaha Kai Outrigger Canoe Club. One of Southern California's awesome Outrigger Canoe Club teams. So that's number 4. Woo! The Cabrillo Run. Do this, guys. Yes, do this. Okay. All right. We are really rocking through this list, and I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Super fun. Number 3.
Hey, guys and gals. Let's dry off for a quick break to share some stoke and pay some bills.
Hey guys, have you heard of inflatable paddleboards? Yeah, I figured you had. In my opinion, they are a super reasonable alternative to a standard hardboard, but they go a step further because you can toss them in the trunk of your car. You can put them on a plane and head to your favorite paddle destination. You could even toss them on your back and hike to your favorite mountain lake. That's pretty cool. Here's the deal. There's a great company out of San Diego, California called Xterra Boards. They've been making inflatables for a while, but here's the deal too. They've also been in the water sports industry for a long time. So they know a thing or two about what they're doing. I want you guys to click on the link in the show notes, go check out their 2017 lineup, and let's see you on the water on an inflatable. Number 3 of our top 7 places to paddle in California is the Monterey Bay Peninsula Marine Reserve. Located in Monterey, Carmel, is one of the most amazing places to immerse yourself in rugged, lush, full of life coastline. Oh, the Monterey Bay Peninsula, you could see sea otters, whales, fish. Gorgeous, gorgeous coastline. So we reached out to local waterman and tour guide, Mr. Brent Allen, for the scoop on his favorite places to paddle this water wonderland. Oh, Point Lobos State Park, just south of Carmel, he says, one of the most scenic, accessible locations on the Central Coast for good stand-up paddling. Best time of year to paddle? August and September when the ocean flattens out. Point Lobos has one launch location at Whalers Cove, and morning is usually the best time to hit the water. The scenery is amazing. Looking back at the cliffs and all the trees of Point Lobos, from the water, that's gotta be beautiful. And then if you head west, you come into Bluefish Cove. Now, if you're an experienced water person, paddle west more around Point Lobos and to south to China Cove. Marine life in this area includes harbor seals, sea otters, humpbacks, gray whales. Weekdays are best, he says. In the summer month, water clarity can be amazing in this section of the Monterey Bay Marine Sanctuary. As you guys can tell by its name, it's a sanctuary, and for good reason. So minimize any impact your paddle might have with wildlife when you come to these places. Better yet, for more information about this actual region, why don't you join Brent? Join him for one of his guided tours. You can find him at BrentAllenOutside.com, just as it sounds. You can also see some footage of some of his paddles, but I encourage you to go hook up with him for an amazing paddle in the Monterey Bay Peninsula Marine Preserve, number 3 on our list. All right, for number 2, we're going to set our GPS for a different direction. Okay, there's this place up in the Sierras, and chances are you've seen it at some point in your life, but have you really seen it? Like from the waters? Have you paddled it is the better question. Number 2 on our list of top places to paddle in California is Lake Tahoe, and specifically Emerald Bay. Okay, so even though we share part of this with Nevada, we still consider it to be one of California's jewels. And there are a few places, 70 plus miles of shoreline that totally stand out. But we reached out to our friend up there, Tahoe Tom Gant, for a few trips on Emerald Bay and some of the surrounding area. Here's what he had to say. Park and launch at the tourist-friendly Timber Cove Pier to the majestic destination of Emerald Bay. Okay, you navigate around Fannet, I hope I said that right, Fannet Island, along pristine tree lines and sandy beaches with that old Tahoe charm. There's a paddle wheel boat called the Tahoe Queen. Now this is cool, guys, listen up. It gives tours to Emerald Bay daily, and locals call it the Queen, and it creates what may be arguably the longest rideable wave this side of the Mississippi, behind its massive propulsion wheel. Tom says you can literally fly AMA the whole 14 nautical miles. What? That sounds amazing, okay? Standing waves ranging from 3 to 4 feet, diminishing 12 waves behind. Who said there's no surf in Tahoe, guys? What? This is awesome. Okay, a few tips to make it a good experience, he says. Beware the bears in your trash and coyotes after small pets. But all kidding aside, prepare for chilly early season water and plenty of boat traffic peak summer. Dress appropriately. Also be very aware of your own paddling abilities and limits. As with surfing the Queen, there are rules of the roads and commercial navigation law does apply. Okay, best time, he says, early in the morning before the winds start to kick up. And remember, be a good guest and you'll have a good time. I love that. Okay, you guys, if you find yourself in the Tahoe area looking for a place to rent a paddleboard or watercraft or perhaps get some local scoop, be sure to check out these shops because Tahoe's got you covered, all right? Waterman's Landing, if in the North Shore area, is totally worth a visit. A local family-owned business that was established in 2010 and works in conjunction with the California Tahoe Conservancy. Cool. Also, South Tahoe stand-up paddle. Whether you're just starting out, okay, or you're going to compete in the event that they have called Race the Lake of the Sky. They do this every summer. The Brackett family, it's a Brackett family-owned store. Wonderful. These people are wonderful ambassadors of paddling in the South Lake Tahoe area, so be sure to check them out too. Okay, cool. Number 2, Lake Tahoe. Beautiful, right? We ditched the salt a little bit, got out in the fresh water, got out in the sea. It's just amazing. But now we're leading into number 1. And I know you're waiting for it. The number 1 place to paddle in California. At the top of our list of 7 best places to paddle. You guys ready? This is awesome. Okay, so here we are. Number 1. The number 1 place on our top 7 awesome places to paddle in the state of California. If you asked anyone the most iconic backdrop in our beautiful state, many would probably agree it's the Golden Gate Bridge. And that tops number 1 of our list. Oh, and to see it from the water, it's massive size, it's splendor, it's just so much more amazing. So that's why it tops our list as number 1. Looks can be deceiving though, and hidden below the amazing arches that connect San Francisco to the Marin headlands is some of the most challenging and dangerous waters in the state. So much so that paddling out of the bridge on most days is not advisable due to currents and winds and tides and big boat traffic. So we reached out to some friends of ours at Tamalpais Outrigger Canoe Club, which paddles out of Fort Baker just to the north tip, for some tips and safety tricks. Tips and tricks and safety. And this is what they had to say. San Francisco Bay offers a diverse water environment for all paddlers. Okay, the iconic Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, Angel Island, they're all spectacular spots to paddle around. No matter what craft you have, OC1, OC2, SUP, kayakers, you all get a challenge when paddling in the bay. There are many, many spots to put in, but we'll start with Horseshoe Cove. It's located right near the North Tower of the Golden Gate Bridge. Views are breathtaking, but safety is always number 1, guys, to ensure a really fun time on the water. Like many water sports, having a buddy or 2 or 3 makes all the difference in a good experience. The Horseshoe Cove is part of the Golden Gate National Recreational Area. It's a national park, so parking is free. There are no showers, but locals just bring jugs of water. There is a ramp to launch from. No public restrooms, but porta potties. If you're unsure whether or not the waters are safe and if you should go out for a paddle, you can actually inquire with the U.S. Coast Guard station that's located right on the shoreline of Horseshoe Cove. If there's a small craft advisory in effect, it's best to stay dry, guys, and leave your paddling for another day. Okay. 2 main areas of consideration when paddling the bay. Okay, first is what Mother Nature provides. Currents, tides, winds, ebbs, floods. Check your forecasts, right? And check your charts before going out. Plan for the unexpected because San Francisco Bay waters can move with tremendous force. In addition to Mother Nature, man-made obstacles keep things pretty interesting on the water. So ferries, giant freight containers, cruise liners, sailboats, fishing boats, windsurfers, kayak surfers, they all add to the diversity and a little bit of that agility challenge of paddling in the bay. So always be respectful of other people's space. Looking for other rest spots or places to put in? Crissy Field Aquatic Park near Fisherman's Wharf, Ayala Cove at Angel Island, or even Sausalito. Venturing outside the Golden Gate Bridge, guys, take extra precautions. Plan your paddle session with tides and marine weather forecasts. Hugging the coastline along the North Tower to Point Bonita Lighthouse is really beautiful. Always paddle with a buddy or 2 or 3, right? Okay, so if you guys want to paddle San Francisco Bay and be near this amazing Golden Gate Bridge, check out some of our friends over at Tamalpais Outrigger Canoe Club, and that's tamoutrigger.org, or contact any club actually in the NCOCA group. So go to ncoca.com. Keep the paddle vibes strong and full of aloha, Cali style, of course, when you're up in that area. Next, I wanted to just take a second we got this amazing list, guys, and I want you to put all of them on your 2017 bucket list of places to paddle. If you can knock all these out in 1 year, you would just be like rocking socks. But there's also some really cool honorable mentions, and so there's a few of those, and I'm going to go over those real quick before we tidy it up. Number 1 on our honorable mentions list is the Sacramento River, right? The Redding, Red Bluff, Chico, Sacramento area. Some amazing water, some amazing wildlife, and you get help from a current, which is kind of cool, right? So consider paddling the Sacramento River. It's like one of the most beautiful spots. Be sure to paddle under Sundial Bridge in Redding, and if you're truly looking for something epic, there's this really cool race called the California 100, and you can learn more about it at riversofchange.org/California 100. It's a 1-day 100-mile paddle race on the Sacramento River, and it's put together by Rivers of Change. How cool is that, right? Moving water, round-the-clock event. It's open to all paddle sport enthusiasts, so kayak, canoe, surf ski, stand-up, outrigger, prone, you name it. It's a beautiful time on the water. So honorable mention, the Sacramento River. Okay, the next honorable mention is the Salton Sea. Oh, it's located in Imperial County. Have you heard about the Salton Sea? Have you paddled on the Salton Sea? Oh my gosh, it's 227 feet below sea level, 33 miles long, 11 miles wide, and the largest body of water in the state of California. Back in the 60s, it was a huge water recreation draw, and it's also home to the largest migratory bird population in the state. Gorgeous desert mountain backdrops, so beautiful. There's an awesome facility at the Salton Sea SRA. So good. If you're interested in racing or paddling there, totally recommend the North Shore Extreme, an awesome paddling and race event, usually in February, and it encourages folks to learn more about the Salton Sea. Guys, it's safe to paddle on, okay? And there's also worthy efforts to save the sea. It's a shrinking sea at dangerous rates. Natural water inflows are being routed away for agricultural development. This reduction of water increases the salinity of the sea, and it lacks oxygen, causing fish who used to thrive there to not be able to survive anymore. Not cool. And that's going to affect bird migration and everything. It's crazy. Guys, learn more about some amazing paddlers dedicated to saving the sea at seaathletes.org. Our last honorable mention is right outside of AT&T Park. Outside of AT&T Park during a Giants game is a paddling experience like no other. Okay, imagine hanging out with kayakers and suppers. You guys are listening to the National League Giants play their home games on a portable radio, eating a picnic, when all of a sudden you hear the crack of a bat, the roar of a crowd, and everyone on the water turns to the sky to see a home run ball hit out of the stadium and into the bay. Everyone scrambles to go grab it. It's called a splash hit. How fun is that, right? So a super ultimately cool experience. Check out a national pastime. Check out some paddling. It's a combination of that. And you guys, that finishes out our awesome list of places to paddle in the amazing state of California. Super excited that you guys hung out with me for a little while to go through that list, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some inspiration to add a couple of these, if not all of them, to your list for the year or the next few years. These are really great opportunities to get on the water, hook up with a friend, make it a destination paddle, do something fun. Again, thank you so much for joining us at the Paddler's Pulse. We are super excited to do this for you. It is about you. It is for you. So do us a favor. Like us on iTunes, share us with your friends, drop us a line if you want to hear a specific episode, and as always, we will see you on the water.
Thanks for dropping by to listen in. You, yes you, are the great people that bring paddling to life. Join us next time, and please don't keep us a secret. Like us on iTunes, share with your buddies, and keep the Paddler's Pulse pumping. See you on the water.